Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we will continue our discussion on what Narada is giving instructions to Prachini Parshad. This is this is the end of this canto, but it is trying to make a very important point that uh, how much we are identifying with the body and what is the reason we are caught up here, how the false ego is trapping all of us. And apart from that, then there are other very important instructions trying to make us understand how the subtle body is uh, keeping us, how much we are identifying with the subtle body. So I'll just wanted to share few things in this regard. I'll just share this. So we are seeing this description, very nice instructions. Of course, I did not summarize, but I can tell the different sections of it. Maybe tomorrow we'll do the sections because it will help us to recollect everything. So we were discussing this one important aspect, how the formation of impressions, that is because of the impressions we are having our sanskaras, that is forming our ego, and ego is making do our activity. So this is a very important discussion we had, and then we also had a discussion on how so emotions are manifested through the body. Yeah, this is the last topic which we were discussing. I wanted to share more things on this, how emotions are manifested. It's a very important thing to understand regarding the emotions. We will see few more points I wanted to say. And this is the choice between three modes and Supreme Lord. So we have chosen the Supreme Lord. So I will just share few things on emotions, just for few minutes. This will be like I was discussing on emotional intelligence last time also. I wanted to add a few more points to emotional intelligence. So first of all, we should know what exactly or how the emotions are formed. For emotions to form, uh, it is because of identity only. So we will try to see, and everything is connected. So the mechanism of emotional control, just how it is formed is first is what is emotional intelligence. Krishna tells that it's in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains, Indriyasya indriyasyarthe ragadvesho vivastito tvayor na vasham agachet tvaihi asya paripantino. So he says there are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their object. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversions because they are stumbling block on the path of self-realization. So now Krishna is saying that entire third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, na, it delivers an encouraging news. He says you can be happy in this world, and Krishna clearly says that the Creator designed this world so that everyone can be happy. You can achieve happiness, but we must follow regulations that are given in the scriptures. So now, what are we regulating? So, uh, the principles in the scriptures provide fundamental principles of living happily in this world. They are not arbitrary or tyrannical rules meant to enslave us. No, it is actually to regulate us. And we need some guidance. And what is that? Because animals don't have the existential problems. Humans are given this so much brain substance because of which we have so much emotions, whereas animals don't have. They live according to their nature. No other species create any trouble for themselves, and other human beings do. This is because of most important thing, because of our intelligence only. So human beings experience depression, countless psychological problems because our advanced brain give us the facility to misuse our intelligence, act against our nature, override our natural instincts, or sometimes violate our own well-being also, right? So these are the things that happens because of so much extra intelligence we have. But lower species, na, no they have instinct, so they just act according to their instincts, so they don't have much problem with all these things. Like they know what to do and never deviate from their nature. Like no tiger, no matter how much it is hungry, it will never eat grass, right? It cannot do like that. But humans, na, they constantly deviate, constantly violate their own nature. Therefore scriptures exist to explain how we should live naturally, following our true nature and achieve ultimate success. So the ultimate goal, Krishna want to see us successful in life. And ultimate success means happiness in this world and happiness in next. Now the problem is with raga and dvesha, like and dislike. So this is where the emotions come. Now Krishna explains that we are both the we are born with certain programming already recorded in our consciousness and senses. This programming is of raga and dvesha. So I'll write for you. Yeah, we completed till here. So I'll just this one part before we complete the. Uh, this topic is evergreen because it is covered in so many sections of Bhagavatam. So here also we'll do. Maybe once in a year we can touch this topic, emotions. So here raga and dvesha, they are recorded. Now raga is attachment and dvesha is aversion, right? Now nobody taught us that jasmine flower smells nice. We simply smell them and naturally enjoy the fragrance. Similarly, nobody taught you dislike certain unpleasant odors, right? Now, this programming of Icha and Dvesha, na, first is the deep programming of Icha and Dvesha. So, Icha and Dvesha are the deep programming we have. Now, Prabhupada gives the example. Say, it is, it is if all our innate programs were natural and beneficial, this wouldn't be a problem because our programs have been contaminated through various life experiences and karmic conditions. These contaminated programs are sometimes completely perverted. So, when the program becomes destructive and we develop unnatural attachment to things that are normally repulsive, like Vishnu Chakravarti gives two examples. Person is sometime in a wrong relationship due to uncontrolled destructive programs. He's interested in wrong relationship only. And sometime and another times he is not interested in any association with sadhus. He's completely averse to the association of sadhus. So these are two unnatural things. Now these program reactions are ingrained so deeply in consciousness that it becomes natural to fall under their control. Now we'll try to understand this mechanism of control. So Krishna says the word vasham, to be controlled. So why does practically everyone become slave to this program? Because of raga and desha. That means because of emotions. So this is where the emotional control comes. We are all under emotional control. So this is where we are caught up. We will try to understand the mechanism. What is emotional control? Now, because raga and dvesha are emotional by nature, these two basic emotions drive our entire existence. So there is a powerful mechanism that puts us completely under the control of these emotions. So then it is initially emotions, then it turns into addictions. That's actually how it starts. Like we attachments and addictions both will come. Initially it is only emotions, attachment and addictions. So this is where everybody is caught in this world. We are all caught with attachment, but where it is starting with emotions only. And where emotions coming? Because we are programmed to be icha and dvesha. And it's all icha and dvesha, that programming. And how icha and dvesha? This is because of samskaras, impressions, right? And this is because of association. So now this is where all it started. So we got Icha and Dvesha, and Icha and Dvesha is emotional control, and that is. So we will see how this initial emotions come. So when we encounter something our program identifies as good or desirable, certain chemicals begin to produce in our brain. The reward system activates, produce hormones like dopamine, right? These hormones create a pleasurable sensation. What we feel good is not actually the object itself. This is very interesting. After hearing this, even it theoretically I know, but practically it is difficult. It is not the object that gives the pleasure. Please try to understand. Object does not give pleasure. If you work on this, this will help so much. Why? If you are eating, say, mango or ice cream. So now you enjoyed mango when you ate the first mango. Then what happens when you touch the senses? So there are gross senses, subtle sense, and the mind. Now when I ate mango, the gross sense ate mango, and then it at this level, and then there is subtle sense, and then there is mind. Now the pleasure is at this level. So pleasure is at the subtle senses and mind level, not on the gross level. Now what happens is there is a programming in our system. Say when I ate mango, so now this too will get pleasure. Subtle sense means here jihva and talu. You remember I made the table also. You have the gross sense and subtle sense, like the tongue, jihva and talu. That is the subtle sense of the tongue. So the taste, sometimes people say, I lost the taste sensation. That means the subtle sense is not working. So sometimes a person is having fever. Now his tongue is there, na? But why he is not getting pleasure? Because the subtle sense is not activated because of sickness, like that. So why it is not activated? Because body want to protect him. He says, don't eat. If you fast, you will become all right very. You want to keep you healthy. So the subtle sense is not activated so that we don't eat much and then we cure our disease. That is the formula. So anyway, so now what is happening? Now when I eat mango, the subtle sense is getting pleasure and mind is also experiencing some pleasure. But it has a programming of saturation. So, and what happens on a gross level? The brain produces dopamine, right? The brain is producing dopamine. Now, the programming of saturation is there. That means after some time, na, the subtle senses will not want to experience that pleasure anymore. It will get saturated. So, no more dopamine. When the subtle senses are enjoying, then only you develop dopamine. It's an indication that they're enjoying. If you don't get developed, they are not enjoying. So the programming of saturation is there. Now you are enjoying the first mango and now second mango, third mango, fourth mango. But 10th mango when you are eating, you will not get the same pleasure what you got in the first mango. Now, if the pleasure is in mango, always the mango should give pleasure. Even though you are eating first or 100th mango, it won't happen because pleasure is not in the mango, pleasure is in the experience with the subtle sense object. That is the point. And if it is pleasurable, everybody should get pleasure. No, not everybody will get pleasure with that. Some may like some items which I may not like. Why? If it is good, it should be good for everyone. No, because my programming of settled body is not accepting it. Some may like hot chilli items, but not everybody will like chilli items. Why? He has a different programming there. So his mind and senses will not. The sensor, the sense buds are there, but taste buds are there, but no programming. So he will not experience pleasure. So that means it's not the object. You understand? It's not the object that is giving pleasure, but the programming that is giving pleasure, and that also gets saturated after some time. So to protect from, why there is saturation? Protect from addictions. So to protect from addictions, in that way the health is protected. Say if I'm eating fruits, after some we cannot get addicted to fruits because it has a fuse. It will off. You put some overload on it, then the fuse will go away. Then you cannot have any more pleasure. So this is actually the saturation. So, so this is the Lord made programming in such a way that you don't get addicted to certain objects and certain things. But there are some items there is a possibility you cross over. That's a different mechanism. But I'm just basically telling this we should always understand. Say if somebody is watching YouTube shorts, he is watching YouTube. Now his senses, eyes are seeing, but the chakshu, that the subtle eyes and mind, they are experiencing pleasure. So it is not the video, but the mind that is, and the subtle sense they are experiencing, the subtle ears and subtle mind, they are experiencing pleasure. And the more we have I like, I dislike, the more we get addicted. And in this, na, the saturation is always you are giving new things. It's mango is only one thing. In YouTube now you have many options. So you don't get so easily saturated and then you waste your time so much. That's how it happens. But it is not the video, or it's not the food, or it's not anything that is giving pleasure. It is this part, the subtle sense, the programming and the mind. How you programmed yourself and how your mind is, that is what is giving pleasure, not at all the objects. So that should be very clearly. Yehi sansparshaja bhoga dukkhayo na evate. So spansparsha bhoga, we touch the sense objects, but they are programmed in such a way to give that pleasure. But as such, that's not the object that gives pleasure. Like Sukadeva Goswami is having every, is a grown up 16-year-old boy, and he is just born 16 years born. He's seeing all the the senses are coming into contact with sense objects, but the programming is not there. Like say now he is having mango, like Sukadeva Goswami. Now his senses are touching mango, but what is happening? This programming is not there, even in here. So he does not have any pleasure here. No pleasure. Because this programming is zero. This program, he's on a Brahmabhuta stage. So now you eat mango, or you are eating a dry chapati. So for him, both are same only, because this program, for us, this programming is holding us. That's why we experience pleasure, pain. So this is where emotions come, raga and dvesha. Ichha, dvesha, and raga, dvesha, like that. So now we will try to understand some other aspect. One more thing I'll tell, because this is a big topic. We will go slowly before we completely understand. So initial emotions is because of that. So the reward system that produces these hormones create a pleasurable sensation. What feels good is not actually the object itself, it's the emotional and chemical experience produced by our program reactions. Now then there is physical responses, then there is addiction cycle. So the body adjusts its entire chemistry. So this is the important. This one thing we will take, and then we'll go for the next topic. So how it happens is first, how the whole system, if we repeatedly activate the same programming. So I ate the same, I'm watching, say, repeating same programming. So say person is watching movie. Now what is happening? He's watching movie. So the body adjusts its uh, first body adjusts its entire chemistry. So this is the first step it happens. Then next what happens? We develop a dependency on these specific hormones. You're understanding? So first say he is this programming, he is repeating watching movies. Then body starts adjusting with the chemicals that are produced watching movie. And then first you are adjusting body, then you start developing dependency on that hormones which are developed because of watching movie. And the third stage becomes the program becomes stronger and more demanding. Become stronger and demanding. And then comes the last one. We develop addiction to that emotion. So you're understanding? So this is how the addiction process happens. So we slowly uh, adjusted to the chemicals that are developed when I am doing an activity. Say example, somebody is smoking. Now, smoking initially is not any good experience. He will cough this that I did not do, but we see that people are coughing and all. They say initially it is not good, but what happened? Body adjusted to the chemicals that are produced when you smoke. Then you start developing dependency on the hormones. Then the programs become strong, demanding, and addiction to the emotions emotions that are emotional state, actually addiction to the emotional state itself. You're understanding? So this is how complicatedly people are getting caught in this material world. So we will then there is and what happens is eventually the body itself began to demand these chemicals. So when the hormones are not being produced, the body sends signs discomfort. So now, then the body is demanding. I am telling all. Now, when body is demanding, if you don't give because it's already depending, then there is discomfort. So people they are not getting to drink tea. They are not able to watch. They are not able to see the mobile for long time. Immediately they feel discomfort. Right? If we are not able to know Wi-Fi is there and mobile is there, people start feeling discomfort. That means we are already got addicted to it. Any discomfort we are getting of not doing some activity, we should know whether tea or watching television, mobile, or any other item. We should know this is because body is demanding this chemical, the emotional state. We all know it, but just I am giving a so so the reality of emotional addiction. So this is actually how like people this is one addiction is of the substance. There is emotional addictions also. Like person he becomes angry and he gets addicted to anger also. That means for no reason he becomes angry because he want to generate that chemicals from his body. So this is another problem. The body chemistry is adjusted to the stress hormones, and now they demand them regularly. They got addicted to stress. They got addicted to anger. They got addicted to certain emotions. So this is another problem that people experience. So emotional addictions. So it is not just addiction of the substance. There is emotional addiction also, and some people constantly they are anxious and even when there is nothing to worry about. I have seen also some reason they need to be anxious because they want that type of emotion all the time. Some are perpetually fearful and they are inventing sources of fear, and some are chronically lusty, unable to control desires, and some are habitually irritated, angry, or obsessed. Right? So these are some character flaws. That means these are emotional addictions, physical dependencies on specific hormones. So now there are different stages also. Maybe we will discuss on this tomorrow. So here we will continue what Narada Muni said because this is a very important. Is telling about this how it is depending on the body. So he says that the caterpillar transports itself from one leaf to another by capturing one leaf before giving up the other. Similarly, according to the previous work, the living entity must capture another body before giving up the one he has. This is because mind is the reservoir of all kinds of desires. So this is because of the subtle body. We have discussed this part. So caterpillar is moving from one to another, and because the consciousness of another body we are already developing. So that's how it works. And Prabhupada is talking about ghosts and other things, how they have this subtle body. And we have discussed this also in the gross body and the subtle body. So subtle body, if it is controlled by Mahamaya, we get gross body. If it's controlled by Yoga Maya, we get spiritual body. So where we are giving our subtle body, and then we discuss this part now about Ichha Dvesha. And then next he says that you should always know that this cosmic manifestation is created, maintained, and annihilated by the will of Supreme Lord. Consequently, everything within this cosmic manifestation, it is under the control of Lord. To be enlightened by this perfect knowledge, one should always engage himself in devotional service of the Lord. So this is cosmic manifestation is created, maintained. Now he's giving a different topic. He's making us understand something higher. So till now he told how living entities consciousness is making him go from one place to another. Now he's telling that how everything is done by the Supreme Lord. Consequently, everything within the cosmic is under the control of Lord. So the topic is different here. Prabhupada, self-realization, understanding oneself as Brahman or spirit soul is very difficult in material condition. This is very important point. It is not so easy. See, we cannot go to spiritual world unless we have self-realization only. First, if I should have this realization that I am not the body, I am spirit soul, which is very difficult. We so much identify with body even while living. At the time of death also we are identifying with the body only. Then where is the question of going? That means we should cross Brahman, then only Vaikuntha. Na? If you get self-realization, then we reach Brahman platform. That means that is liberation. So slowly, then we'll go ahead. Now, if we accept a devotional service to the Lord, the Lord will gradually reveal Himself. In this way, the progressive devotee will gradually realize his spiritual position. We cannot see anything in darkness of night, not even our own selves. But when there is sunshine, we can see not only the sun but everything within the world as well. Maya sakta manapartha yogam yunjan madashrayah asamshayam samagram yata jnasasi tatshudu. So we have to hear. When we engage ourselves in devotional service, the Lord, to become Krishna conscious, we understand not only Krishna but everything related to Krishna. And this is very important. He says that we are part of the Lord, everything is under the control of Lord, and therefore our only duty is to surrender to the transcendental loving service. So I just wanted to add one point. Okay, the great sage Maitreya Kantu, Supreme Lord, the Supreme Devotee, great Saint Narada, thus explained to King Prajni Parishad the constitutional position of Supreme Lord and the living entity. After giving an invitation to the king, Narada Muni left to return to Siddhaloka. So here, na, any anarthas, only one way we can come out. Understand this. It is actually Guru uh, who can help us to come out of this anarthas. How much we are taking his shelter. Otherwise, it is not possible. So what happens is Guru represents the Jupiter planet, Jupiter, Guru Graha. So when we respect Guru, this is side point but very important. What happens is our pranavayu will increase. So when we every day respect our Guru, that's why morning we do Mangal Arati. By respecting Guru, Pranavayu increase. As soon as that means you are respecting the knowledge. You are respecting knowledge. As soon as the teacher comes, we have to stand up. Why we have to stand up when teacher comes? Because as soon as the system in our body works like that, if you see superior or somebody in knowledge, the pranavayu is rising. But we keep still sitting, then there will be a confusion within the pranavayu. Hmm. There will be a problem within the vayu. It does not understand what to do. Supposed to stand, and this fellow is still sitting only. So then there is what you say. There is discrepancy in pranavayu, and then you don't. And there is that is disrespect to knowledge. So this is one important aspect. If we want to get rid of our anarthas, we should so much respect our guru, so much worship him. And then there are other aspects also. I will just uh, share. Maybe we will do it. Uh, okay, tomorrow I will tell because we will complete our syllabus. There are some nice things. One point I told how the prana is rising, and if you are respecting knowledge, we can come out of our conditions very fast. So that is the formula. Anybody who respects, he will get many other benefits also. If we have to every day nicely offer flower to Guru, offer arati to him, chant his mantras properly, so much benefit is there. So some more points I will definitely share future. So the great sage Maitreya continued. So here Narad Muni left to Siddhaloka. Siddhaloka and Brahmaloka are both within the same planetary system. Sorry, Brahmaloka is understood as the highest planet within the universe. Siddhaloka is considered to be one of the satellites of Brahmaloka. The inhabitants of Siddhaloka have all the powers of yogic mysticism. From this verse, it appears that great sage Narada is an inhabitant of Siddhaloka. Although he travels to all the planet systems, all the residents of Siddhaloka are spacemen. They can travel in space without mechanical help. The residents of Siddhaloka can go one planet to another individually by virtue of their yogic perfection. After giving instructions to great king Prachinabarhi, Narada Muni departed and also invited him to Siddhaloka. So here we have to understand the when if you remember the 10 topics of Bhagavatam, so this fifth canto is going to be Sthanam. So Atra Sarga Visargasya Sthanam. Sthanam means position. Now the they are metaphysical boundaries. They are not just physical boundaries. What is the difference between metaphysical boundaries and physical boundaries? Here, these boundaries, we cannot grow with our body. Like from here to America, I can go. They are only physical boundaries. But I cannot go from this planet to another with the bodies. That's why for us, we cannot go to moon. We because they are all not physical boundaries, metaphysical boundaries. That means it is a boundary because the state of mind, a state of consciousness, right? So unless you change your state of consciousness, you cannot enter into this different boundaries. So Siddhaloka, it cannot be reached with a mechanical means because the boundary is not a physical boundary. It is on a subtle level.
So this is one planet by virtue of yogic perfection. So yogic perfection is where yogic perfection is of the mind, right? Not the body. So then only you can reach that, like that. Then, in the presence of his ministers, the saintly king Prachni Barsha left order for his sons to protect the citizens. He then left home and went off to undergo austerities in a holy place known as Kapilashrama. So the word Praja Sarga is very important in this verse. When the saintly king Prachni Barhi was induced by great sage Narada to leave home and take to devotional service of the Lord, his sons had not yet returned from their austerities in water. However, he did not wait for the return, but simply left a message to the effect that his sons were to protect masses of citizens. So, how much he got benefited by Narada's association? This is because that Guru, he has so much respected the words of Guru. So immediately that effect comes, because the I told the prana is becoming stronger and other qualities also come. We need knowledge and we have to respect knowledge. And the source of knowledge, if you are respecting, it has an effect in our consciousness immediately. That's how the system works. It is, if you see material knowledge, we can get from Google also. It's an information, but it is not changing the consciousness. Why? There is no need of any respect there. But if you respect in a subtle level, it all starts working. So if I am not getting complete benefit, then I should start working on the changing my attitude towards Guru. When we change our attitudes towards Guru, we will immediately see the change. So according to Viragvachara, some such protections means organizing the citizens into specific divisions of 4 varnas and ashramas. It was the responsibility of royal order to see the citizens were following the regulative principles. It is very difficult to rule citizens in a kingdom without organizing this varnashrama. To rule the mass of citizens in a state and keep them in a complete progressive order is not possible simply by passing laws every year in a legislative assembly. Prabhupada is telling all these legislative assemblies are wasting their time. Complete progressive order is not possible because Varnashram Dharma is essential in good governance. One class of men must be intelligent, qualified, and there is administrative, business, labor. These 4 classes of men are already there according to nature. So this is called Abhirakshana or protection. It is significant that Maharaj Parasni Barshi was convinced of the goal of life through the instructions of Narada. He did not wait even for a moment to see his sons return, but left it immediately. See how much realization he got, what a detachment he got. This is because Narada's instructions, but the way Narada, he had the attitude towards Narada, that is actually making. There were many things to be done upon the return of his sons, but he simply left them a message. He knew that his prime duty was, he simply left instructions for his sons and went off for the purpose of spiritual advancement. This is the symptom of Vedic civilization. So, very fortunate actually, King Prajin Barshi. Now, what example is setting to his sons? He is also telling, my dear sons, this is very important. So don't be attached to your family in future. Just live it, and then you also take, you also leave home and follow these things. So the point is, he is helping his sons to get, like a father is staying at home, very attached, not doing any spiritual activities. So what inspiration the children will get? They'll think, oh, this is what we are all supposed to do. That's all. So it's a very wrong example that is set. Siddha Swami informs us that Kapilashram is located at the confluence of Ganga and Bay of Bengal, a place known as Ganga Sagar, and it's a very beautiful place. You all can visit one time. It's nice. I went one time to take darshan. Nice place. Having undergone austerities and penance at Kapilashram, King Prajni, he attained full liberation from all material designations. He constantly engaged in the transcendental loving service of Lord and attained a spiritual position qualitatively equal to that of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he perfected. There is a special significance in the word Tat Yatam Agat. The king attained the position of possessing the same status or the same form as that of the Lord. This definitely proves that the Supreme Lord is always a person. In his impersonal feature, he is the race of his transcendental body. So, and Daiviyesha Gunamayi Mamamaya Tattva Mame Vaye Prapadyante. So, when we surrender, then we can cross the material existence. And so at last we delivered King Prajnivarhi. And my dear Vidra, one who hears this narration concerning the understanding of living entities, spiritual existence, as described by great sage Narada, or who relate to others, will be liberated from bodily conception of life. This material creation is the spirit soul's dream. Actually, all existence in the material world is a dream of Mahavishnu. As Brahma Samhita describes, Yah Karanarnava Jale Bhajatisma Yoga Nidram Ananta Jagadanda Saromakupa. So it's all dream. Our dream should be, so we have Falastuti. Because we heard this something we'll get spiritually also. Etanmukunda Yashasa Bhuvanam Punanam देवर्षिवर्यमुखनिश्रितमात्मशौचं यत्कीर्त्यमानम् अधिगच्छति पारममेष्ट्यं नास्मन् भवेद् भ्रमति मुक्त समस्तबन्धः. The narration spoken by great sage Narada is full of transcendental fame of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, this narration, when described, certainly sanctifies this material world. It purifies the heart of the living entities and help him attain his spiritual identity. One who relates this transcendental narration will be liberated from all material bondage and will no longer have to wander within this material world. So as indicated in this verse, so this is also a very important point to understand. We have discussed this many times also. The pastimes, many of the pastimes which are there in Bhagavatam are there in other literatures also. But the difference is how it is explained, right? Like Parikshit Maharaj is telling to Sukadeva Goswami. He is telling that Punascha Bhuya Bhagavat Anant. He is telling to all the sages there. Punascha Bhuya Bhagavat Anante. And then he says that let I am the surrendered soul. Let Mother Ganges accept me as a surrendered soul. And he says that I just wanted to leave my body hearing Krishna Katha. So he is telling the sages, I want to hear Krishna Katha. And he is telling Punascha Bhuya Bhagavatante. Even if I take birth again, let me be in the association of devotees. Now, Parikshit Maharaj is telling the sages, I want to hear Krishna Katha. And all the sages are telling you should hear Krishna Katha. And then Sukadeva Goswami comes. And when Sukadeva Goswami comes, then he says, that means they all know that they have to hear Krishna Katha, right? Then what is the difference? But when Sukadeva Goswami comes, he tells you should hear Bhagavatam. He does not tell you should hear, because Krishna Katha is there in Mahabharata also, in Vishnu Purana also, other Puranas also Krishna Katha is there. But he is specifically telling you should hear Bhagavatam. Not that they all know Krishna Katha, but why Bhagavatam? What is the difference between Krishna Katha of other scriptures and why only Bhagavatam? Because Bhagavatam talks directly about prema. And another most important thing is other scriptures, Krishna is a means, he is not the goal. For Bhagavatam, Krishna is the goal. So that is the main difference. Krishna is not the means to attain. So even though Falastuti is there, where Krishna is seen as the means, what is that? That one who relates this transcendental narration will be liberated from all material bondage and no longer have to wander in this material world. So it looks like Krishna is the means, right? Krishna is the means to attain free from, will be liberated from material bondage and no longer have to wander. So this is most of the literatures which are Krishna Kathas. They give this type of Falastutis. Every scriptures they have Falastutis to make one free from bondage. So here it looks like Krishna is means. But Bhagavatam, na, if we see other means everywhere, this is Falastuti is just given to attract people who have that mentality, who want Krishna as a means. But for Bhagavatam, Krishna is the goal, it's not the means. Bhagavatam, Krishna is the goal, right? So this is the main difference between others. So it looks like Krishna is the means here in the Falastutis, but we are just, that is to attract the people. So as indicated in the verse 79, Narada Muni advised King Prajani Barhi to take to devotional service rather than waste time performing ritualistic ceremonies and fruitive activities. The vivid description of the subtle and gross bodies in this chapter is most scientific, and because they are given by the great sage Narada, they are authoritative. Which is really very scientific, very technical. So, and the logics he give most scientific, the subtle and gross body description. Of course, in 11th canto, many other places this description. Because these narrations are full of the glories of Supreme Lord, they consist the most effective process for the purification of mind. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms, Cheto Darpana Marjam. The more we talk of Krishna, think of Krishna, preach for Krishna, the more we become purified. This means we no longer have to accept a hallucinatory, gross, and subtle body, but instead attain our spiritual identity. One who tries to understand the instructive spiritual knowledge is understand this instructive spiritual knowledge is delivered from this ocean of delivers from this ocean of nuisance. The word Paramhamsa is very significant in this connection. So Parameshtam is also called Brahma. It is the planet on which Lord Brahma lives. So we will, at least that is a very higher planet, Brahmaloka, where all are almost liberated personalities only. The allegory of King Prachani Barshit described here, according to authority, was heard by me from my spiritual master, and it is fully full of spiritual knowledge. This is Maitreya is telling. If you can understand the purpose of this allegory, they will certainly be relieved from the bodily conception of, and will certainly understand life after life. Although one may not understand what transmigration of soul actually is, one can fully understand it by studying this narration. So here from his spiritual master means, so here from Sankarshana, there are four Kumaras. And these four Kumaras taught this to Sankhya Muni. From Sankhya Muni, it comes to Brihaspati and Parashara Muni. and then Parashar Muni. So from Parashar Muni it goes to Maitreya. So Parashar Muni, so this is this Bhagavatam, no? So this is, so Parashar Muni writes Vishnu Puran. It's almost all the stories of Bhagavatam are there. So Parashar Muni, and he gives to both Vyasa and then Maitreya. So now here we are hearing Maitreya and Maitreya to Vidura. Right? So this is how the narration goes. And Vyasa, he directly wrote Bhagavatam. Of course, from him to Sukadeva Goswami and then Bhagavatam. He wrote both also. He wrote Bhagavatam and Sukadeva Goswami also, he gave the knowledge like that. So this is how the parampara. When he's saying, I am hearing from my guru, it is like this. The word Striya means along with the wife is significant. The male and female live together, constitute the sum and substance of material existence. The attraction between male and female in this material world is very strong. In all species of life, the attraction between male and female is the basic principle of existence. The same principle of intermingling is also in human society, but it in a regulative form. Material existence means living together as male and female and being attracted by one another. However, when one fully understands spiritual life, his attraction for the opposite sex is completely vanquished. By such attraction, one becomes overly attached to this material world. It is a hard knot within the heart. Pumsam Striya Mituni Bhavamita Tayor Mitor Hridayagandivahur Atah Graha Kshetrastha Savittai Janasya Mohoyam Aham Mameti. Thus one becomes entangled in the bodily conception of I and man. However, if one understands the story of King Puranjana and understands how by sexual attraction Puranjana became a female in next life, one will also understand the process of transmigration. And special note, according to Vyadiraja Tirtha, who belonged to Madhva Sampradaya, the first two of the following verse appear after verse 45 of this chapter, and remaining two verses appear after verse 79. So they are now given here. These extra verses are there. As Tirtha is explaining them. He says that the desire to maintain body, wife, and children are also observed in animal society. The animals have full intelligence to manage such affairs. If a human being is simply advanced in this aspect, what is the difference between him and an animal? One should be very careful to understand that this human life is attained after many, many births in the evolutionary process. A learned man who gives up the bodily conception of life, growth, gross, and settle, will by the enlightenment of spiritual knowledge becomes a prominent individual spirit soul as the Supreme Lord is also. So it is said that man is a rational animal, but for this verse we can also understand that rationality exists even in animal life. Unless there is rationality, how can an animal maintain its body by working so hard? That the animals are not rational is untrue. Their rationality, however, is not very advanced. In any case, we can deny them rationality. The point is that one should use one's reason to understand Supreme Lord, for that is the perfection of human life. So they don't have much rationality. They have something. Their brain substance is less. If a living entity is developed in Krishna conscious and is merciful to others, and if his spiritual knowledge of self-realization is perfect, he will immediately attain liberation from the bondage of material existence. So in this verse, the word Daya Jiveshu, meaning mercy to other living entities, indicate that living entity must be merciful to other living entities if he wishes to make progress in self-realization. This means too much. This means he must preach this knowledge after perfecting himself and understanding his own position as an eternal servant of Krishna. So not only we understanding, we have to preach also. Preaching this is showing real mercy to living entities. Other types of humanitarian work may be temporarily beneficial for the body, but because a living entity's spirit soul, ultimately one can show him real mercy only by revealing knowledge of his spiritual existence. Jivera Swarupohai Krishnera Nityadas. One should know this fact perfectly and should preach it to the mass of people. If one realizes that he is an eternal servant of Krishna, he but does not preach, his realization is imperfect. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur he says, Dushtaman tumi kisera Vaishnava Patishtaratare Nirjaniragare Tava Harinama Kevala Kaitava. My dear friend, what kind of Vaishnava are you? Simply for false prestige and a material reputation, you are chanting Hare Krishna mantra in a solitary place? In this way, in this way, people who do not preach are criticized. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is so heavy on them. And then there are many Vaishnavas in Vrindavan who do not like preaching. They chiefly try to imitate Haridas Thakur, and then result of their so-called chanting in secluded place, however, is that they simply think of women and money. They sleep, think of women and money. So Prabhupada is so heavy. Similarly, one who is simply engaged in temple worship does not see the interest of mass of people or cannot recognize devotees is called Kanishtadikari. So most of our temples around the world, in India also, they're all Kanishta Adhikaris. They are worshipping deities, but they are not interested in. They only want to take money from the people. Are give them some knowledge. Pujaris and all the temples, traditional temples, they are not interested in the welfare of. Very few people are interested to give knowledge. They are interested in money, money. Actually, uh, everything happens within time, which consists of past, present, and future, is merely a dream. This is the secret understanding of Vedic literature. Actually, we don't see the connection between all this. No? There are verses in between, so they are taken separately. That's why you are not seeing any connection. And Prabhupada, factually, all the material existence is a dream. Thus, there is no question of past, present, future. Now Prabhupada is making this statement. If to the degree we have that respect and love for Prabhupada, to the degree this becomes realization. Like I think there is Prabhupada disciple on Mataji. She was Kunti Mata, I think. Yeah, she was completely bedridden and she got paralyzed from the waist. She was just lying on the bed, and devotees gave her because she could not even lift Prabhupada while reading books. So she was given a tablet so that she can read books by scrolling on it because she is not able to hold. Also, she is on the bed. But she was so. Then she started reading, and she said she's reading Prabhupada's purport. She left her body. She was getting tears. He said, I read this book many times, but now I am reading, I am getting ecstasy only, different realization. So, getting tears reading Prabhupada books in ecstasy. So, why? Because the approach is different. That's how it makes a difference. So, when Prabhupada is writing this, actually all material existence is only a dream. Now it's a theory. But if you realize, we all also get tears in our eyes. My God, what Prabhupada is telling is so nice, so true. So you feel that realization and you feel ecstasy. There is no question of past, present, future. Person who are addicted to karma kanda vichar, which means working for future happiness through fruitive activities, are also dreaming. So she was so happy that people who came to console her, they started feeling some bliss. They said, how she's so happy. and the local news channel also came to interview her. And they thought, "Arey, she should be the most miserable person, but whoever goes to her, they are becoming happy, and she's able to make everyone happy." And then I asked, "How are you so happy?" She says, "Why I should not? Everything is because she's experiencing that, and just reading Prabhupada books only, because this is realization. It's not just some information, right?" So similarly, past happiness, present happiness are merely dreams. The actual reality is Krishna and service to Krishna, which can save us from the clutches of Maya. For the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarintate. Those who surrender unto me can easily cross beyond my illusory energy. Thus, in the Bhaktivedanta purport of 4th Canto 29 chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Talks between Narada and King Prajnabarhi. So, just thank you. So, we have successfully completed. Uh, Maybe we should also have some reflection session of the 4th canto, whatever. If you are interested, then we can do it, or we can go for fifth. Anyway, we have 2 more chapters. We'll see any questions, comments. Yes, Srinivas Prasad.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhuji.
No.
Prabhuji, my question to is like, when in the beginning we discussed that we have those samskars, and because of those samskars, what whatever we do is just because of those samskars, basically. And you gave an example that even if the tiger is so hungry, so he will not eat grass. So,
Yeah.
and we as a human beings are having more intelligence, but despite being given that higher intelligence, we intend to eat everything.
Yes.
So how do we understand that in that sense, if we see that we other the animals are in a way uh, not, they're more intelligent in a way that they are just confined to their whatever they want. It's just because they have that samskars only, they don't tend to go to eat grass. And but we tend, because we have samskars from many births, so we have been eating grass also, we have been eating non-veg also in our previous lives. So when we come to human beings, so we have some samskars of different um, uh, species. So
No,
we
it's
tend.
not like that. It is not like that. What happens now?
Mm,
We are given intelligence. We can figure out how to make every situation for our enjoyment.
mhm,
Animals, no, they don't have intelligence. They only know this is the food. They cannot use. They don't have intelligence to figure out what all things can be done.
mhm,
So if you see some vegetables and all,
mm,
a cow can eat vegetables.
mm,
But if we get something more, it does not know what to do. But we
mm.
know how to do it. We have to cook it, and no, we have to do other processing so that we can
Put
consume it.
spices.
Food spices and consume. So which animals don't know? They only know one thing. If that does not match their system, they cannot use their intelligence to make so that they can use it. So that is not possible for them.
Basically, in a way that we are misutilizing our higher intelligence, na, in a way.
Yes. It is actually it is given to properly be happy, but
Mm.
apart from that, we have to do other things also, which we are not doing. It's just continuing with these things only.
Mm.
So we
मतलब,
can
we got the higher intelligence for some other purpose, but we are using that for मतलब,
only doing these activities. You
yes.
can use higher intelligence to cook nicely and eat also,
Mm.
and you can nicely sleep also, nice have comforts also. But that's not the only purpose. You have to do more also apart from that.
Mm.
Okay, Pro.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, we will end. Thank you all very much.